There is a growing movement within both the scientific and environmental communities that believes the biggest threat to the environment isn't cars, it isn't power plants, it's people, specifically overpopulation. At the climate change conference in Copenhagen this week, China said its population control efforts are actually helping to slow down climate change. But as Casey Wyan reports, getting people to even talk about that idea has its own set of complications.
The cheapest way to stop global climate change is not converting to solar power or buying a hybrid car. It's putting on a condom. That's the conclusion of a London School of Economics study showing that money spent on contraception is about 5 times more efficient than money spent on clean energy technologies. It backs up a recent Oregon State University study that concludes overpopulation is the single biggest threat to the environment.
There's been a lot of attention to the effects of individuals' lifestyle choices, things like transportation, food choices, and so on, but relatively little attention to the effect of having children.
The British Medical Journal and Lancet both published an editorial stating that the sensitive issue of population stabilization continues to slip off the agenda, but is crucial to achieving real reductions in global CO2 emissions.
There is a large body of scientific evidence that is showing that there are many links between population factors and climate change, as well as many other environmental issues, but climate change especially.
Supporters of the idea are not advocating laws that would restrict individual family planning choices or encourage government funding of birth control. They do want both developed and developing nations to at least discuss the issue. Rapidly rising population is a greater threat in third world nations, while the environmental impact of each child in developed countries is greater because they use much more energy.
People should be made aware of, both by the environmental organizations and by the media, that it's good for a couple to stop at 2 or fewer non-adopted children, and then to outline some of the good environmental things that would accrue.
Yet many environmental groups are reluctant to tackle the issue. So is the United Nations, which is overseeing global climate change negotiations. One barrier, cultural sensitivities. The Washington Post reports it asked a UN official about family planning and the environment, and the official replied that, quote, to bring the issue up would be an insult to developing countries. With U.S. officials ranging from California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger to President Obama heading to Copenhagen for the Global Climate Summit, scholars who are concerned about the impact of population on the environment are hoping to make their voices heard as well. Casey Wyan, CNN, Sacramento, California.